and welcome to the show. This is Chundung Season 2, and it's called Chundung Season 2 because Chundung is my middle name, and that's going to be the name of the show. Now, it's a simple show, really. We have a cook segment. We also have an audience in the house. Welcome to the program. I also have my cousin Sammy, who is on the piano. Now, for this debut edition of the show, we also have a guest. Now, that will be the general format of the show. It's meant to be really easy and laid back. So we'll just get on with the cooking. We'll be right back.
If you travel around the world, you will find out that there is no place like Nigeria. Beautiful, very warm and friendly climate all year round. Largest concentration of black people in the world. Hospitable, vibrant and happy people. There is no place like Nigeria. A land of opportunities. The biggest window in the world of business and investments. Extremely rich in multicultural diversity. There is no place like Nigeria. Nigeria, truly the heart of Africa. From the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, tourism is life.
Welcome back. Now for this menu of jollof rice and dodo, we have the rice, some seasoning cubes. Beef seasoning is better since we are using beef as our protein source, and salt, cooking oil, tomato. This is your regular blend, the one you use for stew. We have onions and also curry powder, white pepper, thyme, and tomato paste. So we're going to get started. Now we're starting with the meat because meat takes longer to cook. Although I'm not going to put the beef in the jollof rice, I want to cook the beef separately. You have a more colorful plate when you do that. And the meat goes in the pan. So this is about half a kilo of beef. I'm going to chop some onions into that. Half an onion will do for now, since we're going to set it to boil. Now, if you're cooking for 4, for instance, overall what you're cooking should have like 4 seasoning cubes if you're cooking for 4 people. I don't think on a good day, if somebody is eating a meal, he should eat more than 1 seasoning cube in your meal. So ladies, back away from the seasoning cube. Take it easy. Put a little at a time. Don't just rush and go for the seasoning cubes. So to boil the meat, 1 beef cube goes in. Some salt. And I'm going to put in a bit of white pepper just to give it a nice taste, and then some thyme. Crush that between your fingers and we're ready to go. I'm just going to add a little water to this and we're going to let it boil for a while so the meat can cook and soak up some of that goodness. Just enough water. When you boil your meat, please, not too much water. And then I'll give that a little stir and we'll let that boil. Now while that is boiling, when I'm making jollof rice, I like to rinse my rice out first to get rid of the dust that comes from the bag. And then when you give that a cold rinse, you should put it in hot water. The water should be on the fire. That's what we have here. It's almost boiling. So I'm going to give this a cold rinse, and when I do that, I'll put it in the pot. I'll parboil it and then strain it before we mix in the rest of the ingredients. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our rice is washed, and so we're going to just quickly put that into the pot. The water is nice and steaming. Okay, that's done. We have our stir that. And we cover that, and we have to let that boil for like 10 minutes. Meanwhile, our meat has been steaming away. We give that a little stir, and also give that another 5 minutes. Now, in order to make the jollof rice, we need some of the onions. So the half from the hole that I used for the meat, then the second half I'm chopping into tiny pieces. And this we are going to use for the jollof rice. So that's ready. And now we just wait a few minutes. When the meat is ready, we'll set that to fry. And then we'll put a little tomato sauce in the meat just to give it a little flavor, because we're going to serve it on the side with the jollof rice. Now, we know that plantain has a lot of food value. So we went to town to find out just how much you can do with plantain. So, take a look at this. The fruit of the herbaceous crop, plantain, is generally used for cooking. It belongs to the family botanically known as Musa. Plantains are a staple food in the tropical regions of the world. It can be steamed, boiled, or fried. Here in Nigeria, roasted it is called boli, and it is eaten as a snack with groundnuts or a meal with palm oil sauce. Plantain chips are also a common snack. Basically, plantain is as versatile as the potato. However, unripe plantain has another value.
When you get it unripe, you peel the back. When you peel the back, you slice it. After slicing it, you dry it, grind it. After the grinding, you put in it as swallow. They will boil water first. You pour the plantain flour on it, you turn it. In the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you added a little water on it, then you cover it. You open it, you turn it, everything is done.
When cooked, plantain is low in fat, high in fiber and starch. It has low cholesterol and is very rich in potassium. It also contains vitamins A, B6, and C. Okay, we had our meat boiling, and it's just about ready to fry. So I'm going to turn that out. And we have a nice rich stock. Half of it is going into the jollof rice, and the other half will still go back in the meat. So we strained out the stock, and cooking oil, 2 spoons of cooking oil will be just fine. That's 2 cooking spoons, of course. And then the meat goes back in. Sammy, what actually are you playing? Is it something original?
Yeah.
It is? What's it called?
Unnamed.
Unnamed. You should start naming your songs, because you're going to be coming on the show often, and we need to know the title of some of the tracks that you're going to be playing on the show. And the audience, I wonder, are you getting any aroma yet?
Yes.
You're getting it? Are you getting hungry? Okay, we're going to get there soon. Which other form of rice do you like apart from jollof rice? I know that jollof rice is quite popular in Nigeria. How else do you eat your rice?
I'm a fan of fried rice.
Fried rice. Okay, we're going to try that on the show too. Do you cook?
Of course I do.
Okay, and you like cooking?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're going to give your wife a run for her money, huh? I'm talking future tense because I'm thinking that you're not married yet, right?
Yes, very correct.
All right. Ladies, you heard that. He's single and he cooks. Now, while that is frying, you're going to take care of the rice. Woo, that's hot. I'm just gonna strain that straight away. Wow. Now, the main problem with the cooking of jollof rice is the frying part. A lot of people say when they fry from the bottom, of course your jollof rice will begin to stick. But I'm going to do a little trick. I'm going to fry the onions first with the spices and the seasoning. And then because this sauce is already cooked, pre-cooked, we're going to put it from the top. So that way you don't have the tomato sauce at the bottom, making the jollof rice stick to the bottom of your pot. Some oil. Another 2 spoons will be okay. That's fine. So now I can also put half the stock from the beef. Okay, let me put in the seasoning. Another 2 cubes. Crush that in. I'll just cover that for a minute. And then I'll give the parboiled rice a quick rinse. Our parboiled rice is ready to go in the pot. Turn down the heat a little. Water. Since you've parboiled your rice already, you have to watch the amount of water. Let me quickly give this a stir. All right, now our rice is in the pot. Do you like cooking? And what's your favorite meal?
I like white rice.
Okay, with what kind of sauce?
Tomato sauce.
Okay. Well, do you agree with me when I say a lot of young ladies don't like cooking these days? From this tomato sauce, this pre-cooked tomato sauce, I'm going to put like 2 cooking spoons of tomato. This has all our hot peppers, atta, and the other red pepper, the long peppers, so it's quite hot when we put that together. It's just the basic sauce for the stew that we're using here. And then after I've put in that, I'm going to put in tomato puree for the color. 1 small tin of tomato puree will do. Now add color. Curry powder, that's about 1.5 teaspoons. And then a little more of the white pepper. Now I mix. But you can see that I'm mixing in the tomato and everything else from the top. Let me quickly add 1 spoon of this blend to the meat. And turn down the heat a little. One last thing, salt. 1 teaspoon. Mix that well and good. Pour in the rest of the stock. Now, one thing you should never over-assume when you're cooking is that you have enough of everything, so you must always taste. I think we need a little more salt in the meat. But it's nice and peppery. Give that a mix. And we cover it and let it simmer. I'll do the same for the jollof rice. Give it another mix. And then we need to taste it for salt. It's hot. Okay, I think we have enough salt there. So, we're just gonna clean up here and then we'll fry the dodo immediately. The rice and the sauce, the beef sauce are ready.
Nigeria, the Ogbonge matter waiting for ground now be say, make we stop to the kill ourselves. Say because I come from south, you come from north. You be Muslim, I be Christian. All of us are the same thing, no. But we no agree make it devil sport is better work we got us start for Nigeria. Nigeria our own. This is better message from NTDC.
The meat sauce is just about ready. But because I love onions, now I'm going to take a little bit more to garnish the beef sauce with. So, since it's a garnish, it doesn't have to be finely chopped anymore. And I'm going to add that there. So, now it will gently simmer at the top, and that's the last thing that goes in the beef. Jollof rice is looking good. So, we're going to go for our plantain now. I really don't know why we cut plantain slanting. That's the way I was taught, so that's the way I'm going to cut it. Slant. I guess it's so that you can have a lot more surface to fry. I think our audience is a little bit hungry, so we're just going to hurry that up. Okay, our sauce is just about ready. We're just going to give that one last stir. And then we'll turn down the heat on that one for the plantain. Now you can salt your plantain if you want, but usually when it's ripe like this, I prefer to just leave it unsalted. So once the oil is heated up a little, we fry and would be done. All right, our oil is just about nice and hot. Not too hot, because if you put it in very hot oil, it browns too quickly and then the middle doesn't get cooked. So just moderately hot oil, and in goes the final part. All right, our plantain is done, so we're done with the cooking part. Coming up next is our very special guest on this very first edition of the show, Chundung Season II. So don't you go away, we'll be right back.
If you travel around the world, you will find out that there is no place like Nigeria. Beautiful, very warm and friendly climate all year round. Largest concentration of black people in the world. Hospitable, vibrant and happy people. There is no place like Nigeria. A land of opportunities. The biggest window in the world of business and investments. Extremely rich in multicultural diversity. There is no place like Nigeria. Nigeria, truly the heart of Africa. From the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, tourism is life.
Welcome back. I think from that heat in the kitchen, that just cools me down. Okay, our guest is in the studio and we're just so happy that he's here. And because it's our first edition, he's our very special guest. And I guess I'll just say this. I'm happy that he's here. We have in the studio Paul Ja Hananea. Did I say that properly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with the name. What does Jah mean? It's just spelled J-A-H.
Well, the meaning of Jah, as the Rastafari called it, is one of the names of God.
Okay.
And yeah, it means praise God through Paul Jah.
Okay. Well, but it's like, is it a part of a traditional name?
Yeah, of course, it's a Birom name. It's a very typical Birom name.
The J-A-H part of it too?
Of course.
Wow. I would...
Transcends language. Jah transcends language.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the other interesting part is that you're CSP, right? And you fly.
Yes, ma'am.
You fly all kinds of planes?
Yeah, I have I'm licensed on airplanes and helicopters, but my main fantasy is in helicopters.
Okay, and you do that a lot.
As much as duty calls.
Okay, so because I first of all said you're a CSP, it means you fly for the police, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, don't say ma'am to me one more time. You're making me feel old.
Come on, I know it is.
All right. Why did you get interested in flying?
Well, actually, right from my childhood, I've always had a fascination for flying objects, animate and inanimate. And that is from rockets to airplane to birds and so on. And then some time later on, that's during my 5th birthday or so, my dad bought me a little toy airplane that used to hang on the roof of it. It had a string attached to it. And then it had a propulsion and it used to run round and round the parlor. And then I made up my mind I was going to be a pilot. And I worked towards it, and by the grace of God, I'm doing my childhood fantasy.
Is it easy in Nigeria to have a fantasy like that fulfilled?
It is not as easy. It's not, let me be honest, it's not as easy.
Then you had to do more training outside the country?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I did all my training outside the country. I started at Ardmore, Oklahoma in the United States. And then I came back and went back for my commercial license at All America Helicopters, Denton, Texas.
You first of all train to fly all aircraft, and then you now specialize to do the helicopter thing, or how does it go? Which one comes first?
There are ways and means of going about it. You could go straight into helicopters, straight into airplanes, but because of, I wanted to cut down my costs because I was sponsoring myself at a point, and so I decided to go for, then we're flying helicopters, training with an instructor for $200 an hour. That was in Oklahoma, but then when I went to Denton, there were newer aircraft, much more standardized school. It was a controlled airspace, and I was paying $320 an hour.
Wow.
Meanwhile, on an airplane, I'd have been paying $125, $130 an hour.
Okay.
So it's better for you to start with the airplanes, get your private license, and convert to helicopters.
So it doesn't matter what division of the police you are, you still first and foremost are to uphold the law and order of the state.
Yeah, my duties as a police officer,
Okay.
I must uphold them at first. Protect right from property, and there's a whole lot of them.
Do you like music?
I like music, soft rock.
And then movies?
Movies, actually, I like some adventure, suspense.
So what good one have you watched lately?
I've not had the time to watch movies.
Okay, well, when was the last time and what was it?
The last time I sat down to watch a movie, what movie would that be? There's A Few Good Men. Tom Hanks.
That's
Good
like,
Man.
that one came out like years ago. You should watch more movies.
I wish I had the time, actually.
You have a family?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And you work here most of the time, and your family is here with you?
No, my family's in Lagos.
I'm sure you must be an inspiration for other young people who think, oh, I want to fly someday, and they see you and they think, oh, it can be done, right?
That's right.
So, do you think that you should go into some form of mentoring openly for this kind of thing?
Oh, well, actually, I'm not the champion of the aviation industry in Nigeria. I'm just an appendage of it, so to say. But I like to tell the youth, the young at heart, that the aviation industry is wide open. It's wide open, and there's There's a world of opportunities in it. Just keep the dream alive. Keep your head up and face the challenge. It is very daunting to be a pilot and to be a successful one at that. It's not just doing the training that is it, but retiring and handing over a license without an incident or an accident. That is because it's all about safety, and the margin of safety is very narrow. So you can never afford to be complacent at any point in time.
Right, that's a good one. That's a good message. Okay, finally, you told us about the cost. Did you bear the brunt of the cost?
I bore most of the brunt of it. Thank God for a very supportive family from which I come.
All right, well, that's so good to know, and I'm just so glad that you came on the show. And, well, because it is a show that has cooking in it as well, we're going to eat some jollof rice with dodo. Since you've been living most of your life in Lagos, of course, dodo is your favorite. You can eat dodo in the morning, boli in the afternoon, and then eat something with plantain in it again in the evening. Yeah. Oh my God! Now that's a new one. Another one, plantain porridge.
Right.
All right. Do you cook?
I dabble a little.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks,
All right.
Lovely
That
show.
is Harania Polja. Next, we're just going to attack that jollof rice and plantain. So, thank you for being a part of this show, and we're all loving it here. Do make time to join us again same time next week. For now, it's bye from Chundung Season 2.